What's up, everyone? My God, I fell asleep with this makeup on, so I'm putting this filter on because I feel like my makeup just looks horrible right now. So do not judge me. I don't know. And I break out so freaking easily when I fall asleep with makeup on. So after this, I am going to take a nice long shower. So, hey everyone. Oh my God. So been posting a lot of stuff on Facebook. That's a lot different than what I used to post. And I think a lot of people are confused. A lot of people have been messaging me and just like kind of asking why or saying, well, this is new. I never heard of this. Because a lot of times when we become woke, a lot of people stay in, you know, that type of mentality as far as like whether it's like meditation, yoga, astrology, law of attraction, and all these different avenues. We all get um, brought down a different lane to our awareness or whatever. And you don't really hear a lot of people say, oh, well, I'm coming out of that. Um, but I have. And so to make you guys understand how I got there and then why I'm out, I'm just gonna give you guys like a quick story of things that I've been through in my life, as far as like the supernatural goes, and experiences and stuff like that. So my earliest memory that I had, I was like 4 or 5, and I woke up crying, y'all. Like I just woke up crying, and I had a dream, and the dream like I was like, we were like leaving some house and going to the car. Like, that's all I remember. But I remember seeing some woman there. And, when I saw her, I like felt like I knew her or something like that. And so, like, I wake up or whatever. And I don't remember the whole dream. Like, I just remember like that little part of it very vividly. And, so like a year ago, I'm telling my mom about this dream, and I'm explaining, and I was like, well, how did like my great grandma look, and like, did she die before I was born and stuff? And she was like, yeah, she died before you were born and stuff. But like I had this memory of her. Like I don't know, maybe I saw a picture of her, but like I don't remember. And like I just wake up and I'm like, grandma's dead, and like my family is not, like my mom's side of the family is not really open and stuff like that. Like we don't really talk about things like that. Like when somebody passes away, you don't really see pictures or stuff like that. Like my mom's side of the family is very emotionally like just not there. So it really like kind of like creeped me out and like stood out to me because I was like, yo, like how did I know this? You know, how the heck did I know this? And so then one time, like I was standing outside, y'all. I'm not even playing. Like this is on Everything I Love. This is on my own soul. I was standing outside, and these stars, like I was same apartment, everything like that. So I had to be like 4 or 5, like probably before I even went to kindergarten. And standing outside. It's late, and the stars form an image of a man. And there was like an animal next to him. It kind of like was like a sheep or a lamb or something like that. And it was like an animal and a man. And like now looking back, I'm like, bro, is that like Jesus or something like that? Like, I don't know, bro. It was just crazy to me. Like, and I've never forgotten that memory. Like, that has stuck with me for all of my life. Um, so fast forward, we move into this. We leave that apartment, and my mom buys a house, and now it's just me and her. My brother moved out and everything like that, and I kind of like will always see like shadows out the side of my eye. Like it'd just be like really quick, like a dark movement, just really quick, and I just be like, okay, all right. So there was like this one time in my life. I don't know what grade I was in, y'all. It had to be somewhere from 5th to 7th grade. Like I don't know how. I don't recall how old I was, but Yeah. So there was this like thing going on in the house where I was alone and the TV would just like turn on and off by itself. Only when I was there. Like when my mom was there, I wasn't doing that. Nothing. It was just like when I was by myself. So I was just like, okay. So one day though, the TV turned on and off and everything, and then I hear a cell phone ring. I am not playing with y'all. I hear a cell phone ring. Sounded like it was in one. I had 2 rooms. I had 3 rooms actually. Um, and it was in one of my rooms that was like closest to where like the TV was turning on and off at. And I tell you, I ran out the house and I did not go back in the house until my mom got home because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if somebody was in there. I don't know what the was happening, y'all. Like I was so shook. I was shook. And so what happens after that? Okay. So all that happening, I don't even know if I told my mom or not. She probably wouldn't believe me or think I'm just crazy or hearing things. So I probably kept it to myself. I just knew I was scared to go back in that house by myself. I did not want to go back in the house by myself. And so, um, I didn't, from what I remember, I don't really remember in between this time. A lot of my supernatural experiences is probably just stuff in the back of my head. But I moved to Atlanta, obviously, and to get away from everything that I knew. And yo, I was spending a lot of time alone. And like I told you guys in my awakening video, this thought came in my head, bro. Like, I don't know where it came from. I'm telling you, I never heard anything about like being vegan. I never heard anything about being woke, about any conspiracy theories. That was not like none of that was ever a part of my reality, like whatsoever. So, that was something I never heard of. So this thought just like comes to me, and I'm still trying to figure out what happened. But this thought, it seemed like it was just like implanted in my head. Like all of a sudden, I came to this like realization, and I was like, the Bible's fake. Like that's the thought I had. Like the Bible's fake. I started freaking out. I started freaking out. And mind you, before this, I kind of like went away from God, as you guys know. I was dancing. I was in an abusive relationship, as I told you in like some of my videos, and I kind of said, I'm not gonna repeat it, but I said some things about God, like some bad things, and I think it's because I was hurt, and I was just like in a very dark place in my life, and I was just kind of like, I became an alcoholic and stuff, and stayed in an abusive relationship again, like I said, and just wilding out, like doing the dumbest things that you could think of, which I'll tell you guys later on in my story when I feel more comfortable. But y'all, I was like really making stupid decisions. Like could have been dead somewhere or something like that. That's how dumb I was being, because I like the trauma was starting to come up. Like, it wasn't something that you could just ignore anymore. And so when it started to come up, I'm like, well, if God was real or this and that, well, why would this happen? And why would God put me in a situation like this? And like, look at this world. It's so disgusting. And I feel like a lot of people actually feel that way when we're confused and stuff and we don't understand. And I just basically was like, I didn't believe in God anymore. I did it. I just didn't care. Like I don't know. I think something somewhere deep inside like knew I still believed in God and loved God, but I kind of was just like, we're not friends no more. Like I'm cutting you off type of thing. And I really did that, and I was on that. And yeah, I had to repent for that. But so maybe that's why that thought was able to come in, because I had no protection. I didn't believe anything. My soul was just out here lost. Like I'm just doing stupid stuff. I'm being around all these different type of environments, and I'm just being influenced by evil. Like I know I was being influenced by evil because some of the stuff I did, bro, it's just not cute. Okay, and so I just feel like I was open, and like that thought was able to come inside of me because I had, again, no protection, no belief system, just was just open. It was just out there. And so the thought was like, oh, the Bible's not real. So I started Googling stuff, y'all. Googling and all this stuff, just like I think most people do when they, like, a lot of people, I don't feel like it happens like that. I don't feel like a lot of people just become woke, like aware. I think a lot more people like have people in their ear telling them stuff. So I don't know. I just feel like my case was a lot different, and I'm sure there's people out there who a thought did just like download into them, and you know they like researched it more. But I know for a fact that, you know, other people are getting introduced to this by other people, and we're doing our own research. We're not really going to no library, or I know I wasn't, and I know a lot of people aren't too. Like, you know, we just not. And kind of just like looking for answers and something that seems right. It's like, oh, well, that makes sense, you know, without doing any real research, just going on Google, YouTube. I know y'all did it. I did it. And I know y'all doing it too. So let's not even play that game. And I'm not trying to be rude. It's just like, I just feel like people be trying to like come at me, or like seem like they have it all figured out, as if I didn't go down that road myself. And I did a lot of research. Okay. So, yeah, so I started like looking up stuff, you guys. I just started looking up all these things, which again led me to go vegan, because I was just like, ugh, like it came down to like the spiritual aspect of it, like messing with our DNA. We're eating blood, and like they're putting all these hormones into it. Then again, of course, like all these chemicals and preservatives in our food, just like killing us. So I was just like, yeah, I'm done. And so I was still like, okay, this doesn't answer my question about God. Like, I was literally freaking out, because I was like, if there is no God, or what I have believed my whole life isn't real, what is going on? Like, I couldn't focus, you guys. Like, there was, during that time, like October 2015 to like December, I'm telling you, I would just on the way to work on the bus, I'm googling stuff on Google, I'm reading stuff, I'm going on Instagram looking up hashtags like Christianity's fake, just all these different things, which of course led me to this whole Egyptology thing, about Ra and Horus, and I even watched this YouTube video because I was like really into science. So I don't know, I don't remember what it's called, but I'm not gonna give it to you guys either. But it was just like basically how like the atoms formed these gods and goddesses, and it was just crazy. Like, looking back, I'm like, what? How did I believe this? But so yeah, like I was like really deep into the Egypt thing. Like, oh yeah, we're all from Africa. All black people are from Africa. You know, the Bible's based on astrology. It's really, they're really trying to say it's based on astrology, and you know, they got like this Horus and Ra and all these different gods, and fertility goddess, and the god of death, and just blah blah blah, like just all that crap. And then I started getting more into astrology. So I'm going to all these different Twitters, all these people on YouTube and Facebook who do tarot cards, and I'm telling you, I was following this one guy where every day he's making video, and they hour, 2 hours long. And I'm watching them every day like, oh my God, like, yes, this makes sense. I've been feeling this too, blah, blah, blah. Because the thing about astrology is, it is real, okay? It is real. And I'm sure it does affect us and have a lot to do with a lot of things. You know, God created this. So, give me 1 second. God created it. So, obviously, there's truth to it, you know. But, you know, a lot of these people have dark energy, which I came to find out because I'm really good at reading people, y'all. And it'd be somebody I come across and I'm watching all the videos like, man, this dude is smart, this girl is smart, she knows what she's talking about, blah, 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 blah. And then they say or do something finally, and I'm just like, bruh, I don't like you. Because the thing is yes, we're all healing. And the reason why I was actually about to pick up some tarot cards. like not too long ago where I did shrooms and I did it that I was like, oh no, I'm not playing with that. I saw a lot on shrooms. I'll get that into that later in this story. And so yeah, man, like I was just like watching all these people and was just see stuff like they're arguing with each other and they're just saying stuff, and I'm like, I understand we're all healing and stuff like that, but like these people are literally leading us, and they're telling us all these things and like giving us these updates, but have these things in their spirits still, which is why I never picked up the tarot cards or like really wanted to offer certain type of services like self-help and all these things, because I know stuff. Like I knew I know stuff. I knew I could help people and all that, which is something I do really still want to do, but I know deep in my heart that I still had stuff that I had to work out. So I didn't want to be out here telling people all this positive stuff or like leading them. But I'm still not all the way right. And most of these people aren't. Most of these people like are super cool, like on the internet and always positive, but then like, they believe in polygamy or all this stuff. And I'm not trying to be judgmental, but like I want to say 10 out of 10, but I'll be nice and say 9 times out of 10, like a lot of people and the stuff they believe comes from a place of hurt. Like women just like being in polygamy, men doing polygamy, like a lot of that comes from ego. Like in this day and age, it's not to build and do all this stuff. It's because people don't know how to connect and all that stuff. And I see people's trauma for what it is. When you're self-aware and you know how you operate, yes, of course, everyone goes through different things, and it plays out different. But I could see, like, I'm not stupid, and I can see when somebody's doing something out of ego, out of trauma, and most of us are. All of us are, pretty much most of the time. Even if we are self-aware, we're still, like, there's still things that all of us deal with, and that's just facts. And, that's kind of like when I was just like, I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm telling you, from like 2015 to 2018, like I was just on this, and I was really into it. Like I said, watching it every day, just following, retweeting, sharing this stuff on my Facebook. I'm so sorry if I led you guys down the wrong path, because there was like a lot of people who were looking for answers who were depending on me, because like I was like really doing the research and stuff. And so I was just like really like looking at astrology and stuff every day. Like I had many different apps. There was all these different people I was following, and just like going to them every day. Like it was a Bible or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, how people read the Bible and stuff every day. Like that's what a lot of us do with astrology, and these people who are like giving readings and stuff. Like we're like, oh my God, I can't wait. What are the tarot cards gonna say today and stuff like that. And in 2017, I moved to LA, and got in a really dark place in my life, you guys. Like everything fell apart. Everything fell apart, and I know it was for my greater good, and God was pulling me back. Like I had reared off the deep end, and God was pulling me back. And that was in 2017, and February 2018, I officially became homeless, because I could not get a job. Like no matter how much I wanted to, I couldn't get a job. And then like I was making good money. I was making like $300-400 a day in like 3-4 hours, cleaning people's houses and stuff like that. Like had my own little business, and I got cut off of that. Like and then I started going on apps. Oops. And like cleaning people's house. I was making good money for a while, and then like I just kept getting kicked off these apps. And I was like, God, like, what are you doing? Like, I'm out here. And I didn't have a driver's license or anything, so I couldn't do Lyft. We had 2 cars, but obviously I couldn't drive, so it was like Drew was like the one like mostly bringing in all the money, and like it started making me feel bad, because like I wanted to help him. I didn't just want him to be out here doing it. And stuff kept happening to him too, y'all. Like we'd be parked somewhere and he get a ticket, the car get towed. So many things happening. Like we had a rental car that got towed. We had got a Lyft car, like paid the $250 deposit for the Lyft rental, that got towed. We got a ticket. Like all this stuff just started adding up. I was getting kicked off of stuff. He was getting tickets, and all these things, and I lost stuff that we obviously had to pay, and it was just like putting us in this hole. So now, we're getting back. So the bills are adding up and all this stuff. So we were Airbnb hopping to the point where, you know, and I'm gonna tell you guys about my homeless story, because that's deep. That's for another day. But so like we were Airbnb hopping and stuff like that, and it finally just came to the end where we were just like sleeping out of the car, and I was so stressed out. Like, I'd never been that stressed in my life. Like, everything to my name got stolen because we had 2 cars, and one of the cars we had all the stuff in. I didn't bring up all my stuff into the Airbnb every time because we were spending one day here, one day there, and the car got stolen. And I cried, man. I was so depressed about that for a while, but I know, like, looking back, it's like God was trying to pull me back in and show me, and I was eating. Like, I had money for food and all kinds of other stuff, and like people would just like be giving me free food here and there, and like somehow I was okay. Like, I had money, he had money, we weren't really working, but we came across money and food, and we were always eating. Like, that's the one thing, regardless of us sleeping out of the car, we found places to sleep. Like, we met people and stuff like that. And so one day in the midst of that, I was like, bro, I'm just gonna go to church. Like, I don't believe in this Bible stuff. I don't, but if it is based on something that, our ancestors and our people, made a while ago, at least, it's good people in there. I need this good energy. So let me tell you, I went to the Potter's House in LA. Wonderful church. Someone just called me, and bro, like, the message of that day, I can't even tell y'all. Like, Sarah Roberts, I can't even remember the sermon, but I'm sure I can find it and I'll put it in my comments so y'all can see how God be moving, bro, like the Holy Spirit. And me and my man, we went in there and I started crying. Like, I had chills in my arms and I started crying because I'm like, what are the odds? I don't believe in religion no more. I don't believe in this God dude, all this stuff. And this message is just like so on time. Like, it was crazy. So I started going to church again, like, when I could. And I still didn't believe in, like, Jesus. I didn't. I was still looking at astrology all the time and stuff like that. And I just, I wasn't believing in Jesus. And, I would like run into people who are like all into this ancient Egypt stuff, and I'm like, okay, this got to be, the universe aligning us and, putting it together, and, all this stuff. It's just like confirmation, but, that's just really the devil trying to keep me in this loophole. And so when I was going to church, I still probably wasn't really receiving the messages. But I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Like, this is a cool little allegory, a little metaphor, like, that's how I thought about the Bible. Just everything they're trying to say, allegory, metaphor for something, obviously, metaphysically, like metaphysical metaphors and stuff like that. Like, I thought being Christ-like was just like a metaphor for, like, going within and changing your inner world and just becoming like this better person. But when I was following the astrology and stuff, that didn't resonate. Like, it just didn't feel like it was happening. So I go to church and stuff like that, and I'm still just believing that Jesus means the Son of God. Literally meant the sun, like the actual sun in the sky of God. And, obviously I read so many books, like The Secret and just all kinds of stuff. And I was following like a lot of YouTube and Twitters and this stuff of like people sharing like, if you think it, and just like trying to get into the law of attraction and stuff like that. And I really believed it. Like, because I had even wrote something down, like, before I became homeless and moved to LA and stuff, I was at a job and they was just paying me $13 an hour for accounting, which I thought was weak, and I wanted something more. So I like wrote it down. I'm like, today's gonna be a good day, and I'm gonna have good news. I wrote that down sometime like a week before I got a phone call, because I was like going on interviews trying to get a better job and stuff. And so like a week later, the, what is it called? The recruiter called me and was like, you got a job. And it was like $20 more hour stuff. I'm like, oh, this writing stuff down really works. Crazy, right? So, you know, yeah, I was just like reading a lot of books about, like, once that happened, I just started reading a lot of books and like YouTube videos about the power of your mind and, you know, how you could just like create things. And I do think to an extent, of course, that's real. And yeah, so I kind of like, I don't know, somewhere along the line, something just not sitting right with me no more. Something, I feel bothered. I don't know what's going on. Something just doesn't feel right in my spirit anymore. I couldn't put my finger on it. And I started like, kind of like, I was over the whole astrology thing, like looking at it every day. And I just didn't have time probably. And so I wasn't really reading it, but I'm still like keeping up with it. And like even as early as 2018, maybe even early 2019, like there's statuses on my Facebook and stuff, and I'm slowly like going through trying to delete them, just because I feel really embarrassed and like really dirty of me like putting quotations of stuff like the Bible said, like, yeah, Jesus, or, you know, stuff like that. So this is still like a new thing. These people want to mess up my life by calling me. Bro, I gotta be saying a timely message because that don't be happening. And so I just stopped like looking at that stuff, bro. And here and there, like I would go look because I'm like, man, it's been a rough week, or all this good stuff has happened. Let me go look at these people's pages and, you know, see what they say. Let's see if I'm aligned and, you know, stuff like that. And not only that, with this whole alignment thing, what the fuck? It was like a moth or something. Yeah, this is embarrassing. What was I saying? So I feel like every time I like came to a conclusion or something that was just crazy, I would have these confirmations like from people on Twitter or like, and I'm just like, bro, the devil is really shady, man. Like the devil is a shady ass person. Or being, because I'm telling you that the devil will keep you lost for real and show you things that you think you want to see. Like, we have to realize, and when you read the Bible, because I would never really read the Bible, so a lot of stuff, like when I read it, I really didn't understand it. And I think a lot of people do that, where they pick out little verses and like, well, this contradicts this and that. And like the Bible, the way you have to read it, it's not just linear. It's not like, oh, this is the first chapter and this is just how life happened. It's just different accounts of people dealing with God and like having visions and stuff. And sometimes you have to read this chapter, then this chapter, like the 5th chapter, then go back to the 3rd chapter so it makes sense. It's not like linear and stuff. And a lot of times you have to like look up the meaning of words and not what you think it means. Oh, it was a ladybug. I don't know where these ladybugs keep coming from. Crazy. And I think you just have like, because I know I wasn't doing it. Once I started like actually looking up what these things meant and words, I'm like, okay, now this makes sense. So you know, I think where I got lost and a lot of people get lost is that we don't really understand what's going on in the Bible. And you know, I really thought that our oppressors, like the white people, came up with religion, took what we used to use as religion and like just turn it into something to like oppress us and, you know, like keep us in a mental slavery and all these things. So it was really hard for me to want to believe and take in, right? So back to what I was saying earlier, you know, y'all know I'm trying to get better at this. So many thoughts in my head. And I just stopped. I just kind of like stopped reading all that stuff. But I would again go back to see if I'm aligned and get my confirmations and stuff like that. And a lot of times it would be like I would be feeling some of the things that are already happening. and like people are saying that, or like I would have like kind of like this feeling or this idea, and then I would like go to one of the pages and, you know, find something that matched, and I'm like, okay, so I don't need other people telling me these things, because this stuff is obviously like, you know, we're in tune. We should be in tune with the world and everything around us. Like God gave us the Holy Spirit and stuff like that. So I just like, after that, something just didn't feel right. You know, I would like look at these people in their eyes, and um in this period, I was going through a lot of spiritual changes. Like I was starting to feel energy more. I was starting to become more aware. Like I really think my spiritual gifts were growing, like at an all-time high. It was crazy, man. Like, you know, there's things in the Bible that'll tell you that too. It's like, you know, when the Holy Spirit is coming over you, like your spiritual gifts will grow and stuff like that. Like I was having out-of-body experience. I like was lucid dreaming. Like I lucid dream naturally. I haven't like done it in a while, but like when I was in LA, like on that spiritual stuff, I was like lucid dreaming a lot. And I still do in a way. Like I know when I'm conscious in my dreams. Like I know when I'm dreaming, I become conscious. And like I had a dream where I was cheating on my man. It was so horrible, you guys. And like the whole dream turned left. Like once I was doing it, and like I woke up in my mind, I was like, what about Drew? You know, like what about Drew? And I'm like, bro, these demons is trying to get to me. Like I'm done with this stuff. I moved away from all this freaking fake crap that they try to get me with and act like they were nice and all these cute little things. Now they mad and they're messing with me in my dreams. I've been spiritually attacked, and I be ready to fight these hoes, because don't play with me. And so I'm saying that to say I started feeling energy, bro. I'm very psychic. I can read people like that. I know when somebody's doing something out of their trauma. Like I'm trying to give you guys an example. Like, let's say you comment on somebody's status, and they always just, only your comment, they only press like, but everyone else's stuff, they always heard it. Stuff like that. Like, that's never really happened to me, but I'm just giving you an example. Like, and I'll peep, like, people's, the stuff they do and put two and two together. Like, you know, and I could read energy. I could look and observe at people's actions and see, you know, what their intentions are. I might not always be 100% right, but I'd be right that it's some effed up stuff. So I started looking at these people, and like, I'm not gonna say his name, I'm not gonna go there, but there's this one guy who's always so positive, but I'm telling you, you look into his eyes, that man is evil. Like, and I was like, bro, how did I not see this? So I started seeing like the energy on some of these people, and like I got scared, because I'm like, bro, what am I playing with? What am I doing? What did I just do? Like, am I sitting here really playing with this crap? Like, these people have been this way this whole time. So I was done. And then I still was confused about God. I was like, you know, I'm going to just start going to church, because at the end of the day, I always believed in a higher power, and I always believed in God. So, yeah, I went back to church. And hey, Ladybug, I really want to know what that means, because I'm telling you, this ladybug, it'd be a different one, like just one random ladybug all the time. And there's not like a whole bunch of ladybugs outside. It's just like a new occurring thing since I've done shrooms. Like this ladybug just comes. I'm gonna try to pet it. Sorry, y'all. I'm like so scared of bugs, but I want to like not be scared of them. And so I started getting more interested in the Bible, and like I followed this man Yaki, and he like really breaks down the Bible and stuff. And I was like, this is what I'm looking for. Like, this was like before the shrooms and stuff. I still like wasn't taking it serious, but I was like, yo, this is what I'm looking for. The reason why I didn't believe in like the Bible and stuff is because, one, people have perverted it. People have perverted God's word. All these things that the church teaches, and then like church folk is just so fake. They are the fakest people. All these religious people are the most judgmental people. They have some of the worst energy I've ever encountered. So I'm like, bro, this stuff is fake because y'all say all this stuff, but act and live and act this way. Like, doesn't make sense. And I was like that since I was little, like just always like side-eyeing people, like y'all say this but then y'all act like this, and y'all believe this but you ain't really acting like that. Just like really just confused as F. But like he really like breaks down, and I'll put his YouTube channel in my description box because I'm telling you, he's the truth. And I was like, yo, like this is what I've been looking for my entire life. Because Christianity, they're doing all these things that they're not, like all religions. You're celebrating holidays, you're doing Sunday church service, and all these things that are obviously against God. Like, and of course, that's just the devil infiltrating the pastors and the church system. And I think that's the part where the white people used stuff against us, like perverted the real message of God. And so that's why I was turned off. But like he breaks down the words of everything and really explains it. And so I started doing my own research because I was like, you know what? He sounds really smart and stuff, but I'm not going to go back down this rabbit hole of I'm listening to somebody else. I'm going to do my own research. And I would find stuff, and then like for some reason he would talk about it in his next video. I'm like, okay, obviously the Holy Spirit is real, because even like when I was woke and stuff like that would happen. You know, and sometimes you really have to be discerning out here because Satan has a lot of power. Like, y'all forget he was God's homie, like bro dog, so that he has a lot of power. He's not just devil. He can't just do nothing. Like, he has authority out here in these streets. He has authority to do whatever he wants in this world. And that's what people don't understand, is this is not God's world. God is not of the world. So that's why people are getting murdered and raped and stuff like that. It's not because God willed it. It's because humans have sinned. Angels sinned. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how all this stuff even happened and why we're even here and why I'm even saying this message. Is because angels sinned, okay? They were supposed to be watching over us. And, you know, I like to believe that God created the negative part, because it's like, okay, if I just make everything good, then of course everyone's going to be good. But let me throw this in here. Let me throw these type of emotions. Even angels had it. Angels have lust and all that stuff. They have you know, different bodies, but they you know, they have heavenly bodies and stuff like that. And so I'm sure that's God's way of like, let me see who's real and who's not. Let me give them options, and I'm gonna let them pick and choose, right? I'm gonna give them their orders, and they good up here right now, but look, here's your options. And so they're supposed to be watching over us. I'm telling this three-way, okay? And they started lusting over women, and they impregnated women, okay? So now these are Satan's little friends. Like, they are not angels no more, of course. They completely did something wrong. And this is in the book of Enoch, like, which is not even in the Bible anymore. So y'all should go read that. So, you know, they impregnated women and stuff like that. And because these women gave birth to like half angels, half humans, they were giants, like, you know, giants. That's how they described them. They were giants. And so they didn't have like their soul was just different. So God bound their souls to stay here on earth, like here. And these are the souls. These are the things that are still on this earth influencing people. Like, okay, I'm the chapter 8. Google. Sorry, I have to Google this really quick. Book of Enoch, chapter 8. Okay. So, chapter 8, it says, and I don't know how to say these names, so please don't judge me. I'm just going to call him Aziel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates and made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them and bracelets and ornaments and the use of antimony. Let's see what that means. What does antimony mean? Okay. A chemical element. Okay, I don't know. And the beautifying of the eyelids, which is probably makeup, which I'm wearing. And all kinds of costly stones and all coloring tinctures. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray, and became corrupt in all their ways. Semjaza taught enchantments and root cuttings. Somebody with this crazy B name taught astrology. Koabel taught constellations. Ezekiel the knowledge of the clouds. Arikiel the signs of the earth. Shesmael the signs of the sun. And Sariel the course of the moon. So basically, these fallen angels and like these beings and stuff like that didn't have like human souls nor angel souls. They were bound here, and they taught us all these things. So that's why I said earlier in my video, is that yes, this stuff is real, but it wasn't for us to know, and they used it for evil ways. And so I was on shrooms, and it kind of just hit me, you guys. Like, I was like, bro, I've been influenced by evil this whole time. Evil has been in my ear. And, you know, I was just like, I like, this anxiety came over me. I'm like, what have I done? You know, like, what have I freaking done? Like, I really fell for it. Like, the devil's out here having me worship him. And we're worshiping the devil in the church, too. All these religions are worshiping the devil because you're celebrating Christmas, Thanksgiving, all these things that God tells you not to do. You know, you're killing animals in abundance. When you're killing these animals in abundance, that's a sacrifice. And if you, like, look up where does Christmas come from, where in the Bible does it say December 25th is Jesus' birthday? Don't nobody know the day. And on top of that, the calendar has changed so many times. We don't know what day we're freaking on. Let's just be real. We don't really know how many days. Like, is there even a year? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm going off the radar there, but I'm just like, we don't know. We don't know what day and time and all that stuff it really is. So for people to be like, this is Jesus' birthday, it don't even make sense. Like, and especially when you look up where Christmas came from, like, they have us believing in this like white Jesus, and that's a whole pagan thing too. So it's like a lot of deception everywhere. Like, and that's why I don't subscribe to being spiritual. I'm a follower of God, okay? Like, that's it. I'm not religious, none of that crap. And I was like, yo, like, these people are really out here trying to get our souls, man. Like, I'm not even playing a game with you. And, like, when I was on shrooms, I couldn't even control it. Like, I just felt bad energy. Like, it was going so good, and then all of a sudden, I just felt some bad energy. And it was just, like, hitting me, like, you know, I went outside, and I did this at night, which I probably shouldn't have. And I just felt like I saw a lot of evil stuff. And, like, not even on some hallucination type of thing. But, like, I just felt like it was, like, hitting me, like, all of the influences that are around the world in our ear every day, you know, convincing us of all these things. On top of the trauma, like the devil knows how to use our ego against us. The devil knows how to use, things that we've been through. The devil knows where we weak. Like, if you read the Bible, God gives Satan the authority to do a lot of the stuff, because in Job, it's like, well, he's only good to you because, you know, you give him all this stuff. You know, Satan being all smooth like he is, like, I bet you, you know, let me try him. Let me try and see if, you know, he'll be faithful to you. So I'm gonna do this. And God's like, all right, go try them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's true, and I do think that's why God lets a lot of stuff happen, because a lot of times we love and believe God as long as everything's going good. And a lot of people don't pray when things are going good, but when something goes bad, it's like, oh God, I need you. Oh God, I need you. Are you even real? But like, if everything was perfect in your life, then it would be so easy to believe, right? And the more I read and stuff, it's just like, the more I understand, like, this is a real spiritual war. We think it's all cute and fun and games, but these things are really out here trying to distract us and get us away from God's real message in any way they can, so we don't have salvation. And it hit me because I was just like, man, like, from the TV, like, I believe there's like frequencies that are being emitted all the time that we kind of like tune out, and like they're evil. And like, it goes to show, like, if you know about Satan, he was with that music. Like, you thought you could do Pro Tools, and you was good at Pro Tools. Satan, well, I don't like know exactly how to explain it, but he's the god of music, pretty much, like that. He was up there turning it up, making all kinds of beautiful music. So you see that reflected in like the musical industry, and like just acting like it's all evil. And I was in that industry for a while, and I see how people are very turned out, and like how the most successful people are just completely gone. You guys, like, it's not even a joke. Like, that's why I'm done. Like, I don't even really want to be an actress or model and stuff. Like, I want to do it for fun, but it's not something I like, oh, I want to be famous doing it, and I want a Grammy and all these things, because it's like, really, in order to get there, you gotta be a vessel for the devil. Like, it's true. I've seen it from my own eyes, and see how the people who are genuine and have good spirits, they might get, 1 million followers at the most, 300,000, but the real people who are like really into that, like, I don't mess with it. They got millions of followers, all of them. And it's like, the thing about these famous people is, all of a sudden, oh, they're wearing stuff like Africa's my homeland and 444 and all this stuff. Like, I'm not stupid. I know y'all knew about all this stuff, but because we're awakening as a collective, now they see it as a way to get money. They don't care about us. They're not using this to enlighten us. They're doing it because they want to lead us down the path of Satan. And I'm telling you guys, do not fall for it. It is true. This astrology and looking at other people and playing with these tarot cards, and you're not talking to your ancestors. You is not talking to your ancestors. A lot of these things portray themselves to be good and all this stuff. It's some demons. It's them fallen angels. It's them Nephilim. It's all of that. It ain't no ancestors. I'm telling you. Don't nobody know what happens when we die. Nobody. And I was played, bro. I was played, and y'all being played too. Like, this stuff is evil. Like, oh, they don't want us to use our intuition and stuff like that. Like, believing in God has nothing to do with not believing in yourself. I still know I'm telepathic. I still know I'm psychic. I know that we can connect to each other on a more spiritual level, which I do think we're supposed to be doing, and tapping into our spiritual gifts. Nothing about religion means just depend on God, because God tells you, like, you are your own God. You have the power to create stuff. Like, where do you think these people are getting it from? Like, because these pastors and stuff don't know what they're talking about, they could be the ones portraying that message, but in the Bible, it never says anything about giving up your power. It's just not letting you be in your ego, which is what y'all are doing. Like, I'm God. Yeah, we're all our own gods and stuff. Like, you just want to be in your ego. Like, that's evil, like, and selfish, and that's gonna be your demise. I don't care. Like, there could be something bigger than me, and I want to serve it. I believe there's something bigger than me. I'm not in my ego like, no, I created this. I'm just like a little part of the consciousness. My soul came from the main consciousness, and I'm just a part of it, but really I am that. And no. I'm not playing that game. And yeah, so real religion doesn't tell you to give away your power. God's not telling you to give away your power and don't believe in yourself and stuff like that. It's just trying to teach you how to be a good person. Like these spirits will have you having like believing all this stuff. Like, oh, um, God said just be all nice and stuff, and like that's a demon trying to get you to have the spirit of wrath. It is what it is. Like, and I've had enemies like I'm telling you, I wanted to do stuff back to them. But the way my heart set up, I was like, you know what, whatever. Like, and something be happening to them. Like, God will really handle it. Like, we can't question God. It's not for us to be like, well, I don't understand why God's doing it this way. And that's how Satan fell. It's not for us to understand. We're probably not ever going to understand, And we don't know, like, what it's like to be God. So there's probably so many reasons that I'm sure when we die, and you get blessed to go to heaven, that you'll probably understand the reasons why things are done the way they're done. But I just feel like going to war and fighting for our black people and stuff like that, like, it's just so many loopholes. Like, we're using our anger in the wrong ways and creating more chaos, and we're convincing ourselves that it's okay, and the devil's convincing us, like, yeah, take back your power and fight and kill and shed blood. Like, come on now, you have to start questioning, like, those type of things, because when we were little, we didn't think that way. A lot of stuff that we're shown influences us to have these type of thought patterns, because when you're a baby, you're not thinking like that. When you're 1, 2, 3, unless you're being shown to react that way, you're not naturally going to react that way. That's being taught, and we're being influenced by things we cannot see, but they're there. And so, I just, like, again, like, when I was on shrooms, like, I just saw everything, like, how this is a very evil world. It is evil. It is full of evil. Evil runs this world. So the really pure good in this world is very small. And just how everywhere you turn is something looking to use something against you, or something looking to, like, lead you down the wrong path. And Satan's a copycat. Satan uses everything that God has created. God, he's in competition with God. He think he up there, like. And that's why I just came out, because I really realized I was being fooled. Like, with this ancient Egypt and stuff like that, like, where are these books at? Like, where, like, you have to start, like, where are the real books? No, they weren't just thrown away and they made the Bible. Like, I'm pretty sure most of us and most of y'all are going on the internet and Googling stuff, and it's like, oh, well, this makes sense. Like, and, like, you gotta see that you're being deceived, because you gotta look up these authors and see how these people move and really feel their energy, and, like, what are their intentions. Because, like I said, these famous people been knowing about all this stuff, and then now they want to, oh, we're all from Africa, 444, all these things that they knew. If you hear Left Eye talking, you hear Tupac, you hear Bob Marley and stuff like that. Like, a lot of these people been knowing about, all of this stuff that they're now all of a sudden just trying to say. Like, these people knew it. We run stuff. Us people run everything. So when all of us as a collective are doing something, they gonna do it. They gonna feed into it. But don't think they didn't know about this stuff, and don't think they're not gonna try to pervert it to leave you lost and confused. Africa is a hoax. This whole we all from Africa thing is not true. We are not all from Africa. Egypt, God smited those people in Egypt. If you read the Bible, they were smited by God because they were enslaving people, God's real people from Israel, which is not Egypt, and doing evil stuff. I'm not from Egypt. My ancestors are not from Egypt. I've never spoken with my ancestors. I don't know anybody that does. Y'all playing with these tarot cards. Y'all playing with evil entities. Ain't nobody there is no such thing as ghosts, okay? It's just not true. that supernatural experience I had. And let me tell you, I forgot to mention that when I was high one time, um, and that thought came into my head about the Bible being fake. Like, I felt freaking something sit on my bed, bro. Like, I'm not even tripping. Like, this supernatural stuff was happening again, and a lot of times it happened when I smoked weed, but it was happening too when I wasn't smoking. Like, just be feeling a presence, bro. And I don't believe in ghosts. Like, it's not no ghost. It's something else. I don't know what it is. It's definitely something else. It's not a ghost. I don't know if it's good or bad because I'm too scared still to tap into it. Y'all gonna have to stick this out with me, and when I figure out what it is, I'll let y'all know. But it wasn't a ghost. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but that thing sat next to me in my bed. Sometimes I feel like it's a demon just trying to like mess with me, because when I was little, they almost had to abort me. And so I'd be like, bro, like, what am I here to do? Like, y'all wanted to come from my life before I could even get here. Cause I have a big purpose, man. We all have a purpose. None of us are just, oh, you this special. Like, I do believe in ranks and stuff like that, but I don't believe I'm like more special or anything like that. And I really think God is using me for something, like all the things that I've been through, and like let me get led astray and stuff like that, so I can come back and tell y'all that it's evil. And you know, who are writing these books about Africa? Where are they getting their information from? Oh, well, you know, we went to Africa to study. Like, you know, it is a thing called fake artifacts, and they're planting stuff, and it's like nobody has real hard evidence about any of this stuff. It just sounds good because you're looking for answers, and you ain't never really went to Africa yourself to go research this. You ain't really, you know, you're picking up books, you're going outside of yourself, and you're going on Wikipedia and all this stuff. So why are you trusting this stuff? I did it, and I'm here to tell you, why are you listening to this stuff? You're being influenced. I'm done with that. I'm not playing with it. It's evil. It's trying to have us worship Satan in any way. Christianity, Muslim, all these different things, these fake ass Jews that God's gonna come for. It's all evil. Everything's backwards. Everything's backwards. So even the stuff that you become woke and then you start to believe, that's backwards too. It's loopholes and loopholes and loopholes. And anything that's mainstream, we better run the other way. Because I'm telling you, the real truth of God will never be mainstream. I'm telling y'all that right now. Like, that's on everything. Like, the real truth. People be thinking they crazy and conspiracy theorists until they meet somebody who done been past what they are and onto some new stuff. And then it's like, now we got this whole, oh no, we're really from America and we're the real Indians. And it's just like, it's one thing after the other. Y'all got to see it for what it is. It's one loophole after the other. The devil out here trying to deceive us. Don't want us to know who we really are, where we really come from, because when we're confused, we're open. When we're confused, we are open to anything, because we just want answers. We all want to know why we're here, how we got here, who put us here. We all want to know. Let's just be honest. And I'm telling you guys, this stuff is evil. It's evil. And it's trying to have you think that you're God and denounce God, blaspheme God's name. Because the words, the unforgivable blasphemy is when the Holy Spirit is working through somebody and you're saying it's evil or it's not true and all this stuff. So be careful. Because the devil really wants people to spend eternity with him when that day comes. When that day comes. And I had a dream about that day. And the world was burnt. It was burnt. And I had that dream before I believed in religion again. Not even religion, but the Bible. And I didn't grow up religious. I never went to church like that. I went a few times. My mom doesn't believe in God. I don't think most of my mom's side of the family believes in God. A few people do. I was never in the Bible. So, I don't know. They're trying to use our confusion against us and just really have you on the wrong path. And I'm telling you, it's not it. It's not it. Like, these people, especially with all these followers, they're evil. They have other intentions, and I don't know what else is coming. Like, I feel like it might get better with this coronavirus, and then I feel like it's gonna get bad again. I don't know what's going on or what's about to happen. I just know we gotta get right and stop being influenced by these energies, because we're not supposed to be worshiping astrology. We're not supposed to be worshiping the sun. We're not supposed to be looking at all these tarot readers and looking to them every day. Like, how can we not see that is evil and goes directly against what God said? It's not to lose your power or any of that stuff. You can tap into the energy. You don't even have to play with cards and stuff. Once you be like, use your powers and really start trusting yourself and God and your internal world and your intuition, you'll start getting into it and start getting like these realizations without cards, without looking at transits and stuff. Like, it's within you. Everything outside of us is within us and stronger, coming from God, and not all these mediums. These people don't even be happy themselves, and let one thing trigger them. They acting up. I be acting up. I still be having some days where I act an ass. Like, I'm not perfect, which is why I don't claim to be a teacher. Which is, I'm just telling y'all my story. That's it. And that, I know that sets me apart, because I'm until I'm where I know I'm not spazzing. I called somebody the B word the other day. Like, I just be saying some crazy stuff. I'm not there yet. And I know 98% of these people ain't there yet. And then, oh, I'm teachers and I'm this and I'm that. All this ego stuff, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. And neither should you. They're using you. They're siphoning your energy. They're putting demons on people who don't have the willpower, who don't have protection. People having this sleep paralysis thinking it's cute. That's demons on you. It's demons out here. It's real. It's not a game. We take it so lightly. Oh yeah, negative entities. No. There's really negative entities out here. It's not a game. It's not a game.